Welcome back to The Social. As the song goes, it's the most wonderful time of the year, but the truth is the holidays can also be tough for some. So if you don't feel like decking the halls, you're not a Grinch and you're not alone.
And the good news is there are things that we can all do to make the holiday season happier. So here to help is our resident happiness researcher from Western University, Gillian Mandich. Welcome back to The
Hi! We look forward to the holidays, a lot of people do all year long, so I think that helps to increase the pressure, but we always want everything to be perfect. Perfect gift, perfect recipe, perfect holiday entertaining. How can we put all of these expectations into perspective as we're entering the thick of things?
So often throughout the holiday, we hear or we find ourselves saying, have a Merry Christmas, have a happy holiday. And the reality is, it isn't something that we get or we find. It's really something that we have to create. And I find, especially during the holiday season, if you're feeling sad, if you're feeling lonely, the added pressure of feeling like you have to have this happy holiday can really exacerbate those feelings. And so taking a step back and remembering the holidays really are about celebration. Celebrating our family, celebrating our friends, our loved ones, and every single gift that we have day to day, because they call the present for a reason, right?
During the holidays, though, while we're celebrating, we're also spending, which is what contributes to a lot of the stress, right? You're buying presents, you're spending. You're going out for dinner, you're spending. You're buying groceries to have people over for dinner, you're spending. So it can really contribute to a financial stress. What are your tips for helping to alleviate some of that financial stress?
Oh, for sure. It adds up and it adds up and it adds up, right? And one of the things to remember is that you're not alone. And so many people out there are all feeling that same financial pressure. So one of the things that you can do when you're considering giving gifts is look to give experiences rather than actual gifts. So there's research out of Harvard that shows that people tend to, A, have more lasting happiness, and also that happiness in the immediate present, as well as looking back. They look at photos, they have memories when you have those experiences. So instead of going out and buying something, think about what dinner you can make for someone, if you can have an event or spend some quality time, because those will have more lasting effects on your happiness.
Now, like Melissa was saying, the pressure to make sure everything is perfect this time of year is tremendous. But don't you think sometimes the best moments and memories come out of the imperfections? A little bit? Like, think about, remember the end of the Christmas Story when the dogs come in and they eat the turkey and then they have to go out and they think, oh, Christmas is over. But then they go out for Chinese food and they have the best Christmas ever. No?
For sure. Yeah. No, absolutely. And I think the holidays invite this perfectionist tendency, or maybe we have it and almost brings it out, and I know it does in me. And then it doesn't help when we look to Pinterest boards or magazine catalogs with these perfect images of everything. And the reality is, those images aren't real, and the idea of a perfect Christmas isn't real either. So instead of planning everything, recognizing that our memories are made in the moment, not in planning the moment, that can allow us some flexibility for things to go wrong, things to go silly, things to deviate. And also, research from Waterloo University finds that when we look back on our memories, we're more likely to remember the positive things and less likely to remember some of the negative things. So this holiday, as we go, when things go astray, keep in mind that next year when you look back, you're not going to remember those and you're going to remember the good. That's good to know.
You know, Gillian, for lots of people, this time of year is a really lovely time to be able to spend time with your closest family you don't get to see other times of the year. But for other people, that exact dynamic, spending time with family, can be a source of huge stress. I'm thinking of the friends that I have too who are dealing with families that have separated, and they're trying to, jockey between like which family do I spend more time with. There can also be that like Uncle Joe who always brings up politics that you don't agree with. There can be all kinds of stressful situations. So how do you diffuse those types of situations if that's what you're facing this holiday season?
Yeah, you can't pick your family, right? And so you have to modify accordingly. And so especially going into the holiday season, there are things you can do to plan ahead to help make the actual holiday better. So for example, talking to your partner or your close family and maybe planning and deciding how much time you're gonna spend at grandma's on New Year's Eve, or maybe taking 2 cars to the event so that you can leave separately. And the other thing to remember is
Good one.
I love that.
we can't change our family. The only thing that we can really change is ourselves. And so looking at yourself and thinking, okay, how in this situation can I show up in the best way possible? Can I be the most loving? Can I be the most grateful? And modeling that for your family, because that's the only way you're gonna kind of impact change in the dynamic.
Another reason the holidays can be tough for many people is that they've lost someone dear to them or a relationship has ended. And this year, my mom lost not only her partner, but also her sister. Sorry. She also lost her sister, and I'm worried. So I don't know where this is going. And this is her first Christmas without them, and I worry about her. And so how do you celebrate the people that you've lost without crushing your spirits like I am right now?
You know, the holidays, they bring up these memories, and we especially feel the presence of people that are no longer with us. And so looking ahead, really figuring out how you can honor their memories. So maybe, for example, Dad used to always dress up like Santa Claus. Maybe your brother or something can do that. At the same time, sometimes people feel like creating those memories is almost replacing them. And so creating new memories or different memories can really serve. I think remembering that the holidays are about experiencing all the emotions. And when things come up, better, especially when you're with your family who love you so much, to really share in those emotions and reminisce and bring back the good memories. And I think at the end of the day, the two important things to remember are, first of all, that the holidays are really about celebrating those people and remembering that they would want us to be happy and to have a really merry and bright holiday.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna make my Aunt Sandy's roast chicken this year. That's what I'm doing. It's really good.
Gillian, I used to work at Covenant House, and that's an agency that supports homeless and at-risk youth. And December is the busiest time because young people who are in need don't have that common support system. I think it's easy to forget that the holidays can be quite lonely for many people, and in that sense, there can be a lot of insensitivity with respect to just assuming that people will have families and other homes to go to. So if someone out there finds themselves in that situation and they're lonely, what advice do you have?
Yeah, especially around the holidays, if you're feeling lonely, it can almost exacerbate that because you notice that you're not alone. And people can feel lonely emotionally or being separate from other people. You know, even myself, I'm divorced, and so last year was the first time in 10 years that I didn't have someone at the holidays, and it's a very strange and odd feeling. And so there are things we can do about that, though. So for example, if you reach out and connect with people. So it might feel counterintuitive if you're feeling lonely, and when you do that and you start to reach out to people and be specific with your asks. So for example, saying to a friend, do you want to go skating on Tuesday night, as opposed to let's do something over the holiday. And also, I think looking at where you can really give back and volunteer. So when the quickest way really to feel happy is to help someone else. And so giving back, reaching out, not only are you going to feel the connection with the people that you're helping, but it also makes you feel better at this time of year too.
So to help us, it's great advice. Yeah. So we look forward to the holidays, but why is it important for us to keep track of the bigger picture?
Huge. I think this is really important. And this idea of I'm going to be happy when is at the holidays and also all year round, right? I'm going to be happy when I cook the perfect holiday dinner, or I'm going to be happy when Mr. Right comes along, or when I get the perfect job. However, when we look at the science of happiness, research shows us that it really is the small things along the way that cumulatively have a bigger effect on our well-being. So instead of focusing on that one big day, looking at every single day along the way and focusing on how we can bring a little bit more happiness is going to impact it overall in a much better way.
Oh, so timely. Gillian, thanks for coming back and for all of this advice. Thank you. Thank you. All right, if you want to revisit these tips, go to thesocial.ca after the show so you can have an even happier holiday. We'll be right back.